Welcome to our channel. Today we have a story that transcends time, a living testament that true love, no matter how life tries to pull it apart, always finds its way back. Prepare to be moved by the love that survived a lifetime apart, because true love never ends. This is the saga of Alice Beaumont and Harry Kincaid, two young souls who, in a vibrant New England summer, were struck by a passion at first sight so intense and overwhelming that it defied all conventions. But fate, or perhaps the rigid expectations of their families, tore them apart, leaving them with the painful belief that their love was impossible. For 50 long years, they lived separate lives, yet the flame of that first and deepest love burned silently in their hearts. What happens when, after half a century, a simple digital message rewrites what seemed to be a definitive end? I invite you to settle in, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and please, share in the comments where you're listening from today. Alice and Harry's journey is about to begin. Alice Beaumont and Harry Kincaid's story is not just a narrative, it is a hymn to the resilience of the human heart and the unwavering strength of love. After 50 years of separate lives, of overcome challenges, and of a love that seemed impossible, they proved that true passion never extinguishes. It only matures, becoming even deeper and more meaningful. The intensity of what they felt in their youth was rekindled in their golden years, showing that it is never too late for a new beginning, for a second chance at a love that is, at once, a familiar comfort and an overwhelming, breathtaking force. If Alice and Harry's journey touched your heart, if it made you believe even more in the power of love and second chances, please leave a like and share this video with someone who needs this message of hope. And I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe true love can survive a lifetime apart? Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more stories that remind us of the beauty and complexity of the human heart. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey. The summer of 1973 in a small, picturesque town nestled in the heart of New England was a tapestry woven with the vibrant threads of youth, rebellion, and a simmering undercurrent of societal expectations. For Alice Beaumont, then a spirited 19-year-old, life was a delicate balance between the quiet dreams she harbored and the rigid path her prominent family had meticulously laid out for her. Her days were filled with polite social engagements, piano lessons, and the unspoken understanding that her future was already largely decided. Yet, a restless yearning often stirred within her, a quiet defiance against the predictable. Then, Harry Kincaid arrived. He was a whirlwind of raw energy and unpolished charm, a young man from the other side of town, from a family whose name carried a different kind of weight, one of hard work and struggle, not old money and inherited prestige. Their paths should never have crossed, not truly, but fate, with its mischievous hand, orchestrated a chance encounter at the town's annual summer fair. Amidst the dizzying lights of the Ferris wheel and the sweet scent of cotton candy, their eyes met, and in that instant, the world around them seemed to fade into a soft blur. It was a passion so intense, so immediate, it felt like a lightning strike, a recognition of souls, profound and undeniable. For Alice, Harry was a revelation, a breath of fresh air that swept away the suffocating expectations of her world. His laugh was genuine, his gaze direct, and his touch, when their hands brushed accidentally, sent a jolt through her entire being, igniting a fire she hadn't known existed. For Harry, Alice was an ethereal beauty, a vision of grace and intelligence, yet with an underlying spark of rebellion that captivated him completely. He saw beyond her family name, straight into the vibrant heart of the woman she truly was. Their stolen moments became the secret language of their burgeoning love, late-night drives down winding country roads, whispered conversations under a canopy of stars, clandestine meetings by the old oak tree near the river. Every touch was electric, every shared glance a silent promise. The intensity of their connection was breathtaking, a physical and emotional bond that transcended their different worlds. It was a love that consumed, a fire that burned with an almost desperate urgency, fueled by the knowledge that their time together was borrowed, fragile. The sheer force of their attraction was undeniable, a powerful current that pulled them into an intoxicating dance of desire and profound affection. His presence alone was enough to make her heart pound, her skin tingle, a silent testament to the raw, visceral pull between them. But their love, so vibrant and consuming, was a forbidden fruit in the eyes of their families. Alice's parents, guardians of their social standing and carefully cultivated reputation, saw Harry as an unsuitable match, a threat to their meticulously planned future for their daughter. His background, his lack of inherited wealth, his very essence, clashed with everything they believed was proper. Harry's family, fiercely proud and wary of the upper crust, viewed Alice with suspicion, fearing she would only bring heartbreak to their son, pulling him into a world that would never truly accept him. The unspoken disapproval hung heavy in the air, a constant, suffocating pressure. The whispers turned to warnings, the warnings to demands. Their families, driven by fear, pride, and deeply ingrained social divides, made it clear that a future for Alice and Harry was simply impossible. They were too different, too far apart in station. Their love a reckless defiance of established order. The pressure mounted, relentless and unyielding, slowly chipping away at the fragile hope they desperately clung to. The day they were forced to say goodbye was etched into Alice's memory with agonizing clarity. It wasn't a dramatic farewell, but a quiet, tearful parting by the old oak tree, the same place where so many of their stolen moments had unfolded. There were no grand pronouncements, only the silent understanding that their young love, no matter how intense, could not withstand the formidable walls built by their families. Harry's eyes, usually so full of life, were clouded with a pain that mirrored her own. Their final embrace was a desperate clinging, a silent plea against the inevitable, a physical manifestation of a love that refused to be extinguished, even as they were torn apart. As Harry drove away, leaving Alice standing alone beneath the ancient tree, a part of her heart went with him. The vibrant colors of that summer faded into a muted gray, and the music of her youth was replaced by a profound silence. She knew, with an unwavering certainty, that she would never love another with the same fierce intensity, the same consuming passion she had felt for Harry. He was her first, her only true love, a connection so deep it felt like the very fabric of her soul. The years that followed were a testament to her resilience. Alice fulfilled her family's expectations, navigated the complexities of life, and built a respectable existence. She found companionship, experienced the gentle ebb and flow of other relationships, but none ever quite touched the sacred space in her heart reserved for Harry. That intense, forbidden love remained a hidden ember, glowing softly beneath the surface, a constant reminder of a passion that had been too pure, too powerful, for the world to allow. She often wondered about him, about the life he had built, about whether he, too, carried the ghost of their summer love. The unspoken promise of their youth, though unfulfilled, continued to beat within her, a testament to a love that, despite everything, had survived a lifetime apart. The forced separation of Alice Beaumont and Harry Kincaid marked not an end, but a profound pause in a love story that refused to be silenced. For Alice, the years that followed were a testament to her quiet strength and her unwavering commitment to the path laid before her. She moved through life with grace, fulfilling the expectations of her family, building a respectable career, and eventually finding companionship in a marriage that, while stable and kind, never quite ignited the same consuming fire that Harry had. She became a mother, a grandmother, a pillar of her community, her days rich with purpose and affection. Yet, beneath the surface of her accomplished life, the memory of Harry remained a sacred, untouched space. The image of him, vibrant and full of life, from that summer of '73, was etched into her mind with an astonishing clarity. She remembered the way his hair fell across his forehead, the warmth of his hand in hers, the intoxicating scent of his skin, the raw, undeniable pull that had existed between them. These memories were not ghosts to haunt her, but cherished treasures, a secret wellspring of intense emotion that she guarded fiercely. Sometimes, a particular song on the radio, the scent of damp earth after a summer rain, or a fleeting glimpse of a young couple lost in each other's eyes would transport her back, and for a moment, the intensity of that youthful passion would surge through her, as vivid and breathtaking as if no time had passed. Harry, too, carried the indelible mark of Alice. After their painful parting, he had channeled his heartbreak into a relentless drive, building a successful life from the ground up. He had left their small New England town, seeking new horizons and opportunities, eventually settling in a bustling city far from the shadows of his past. He married, raised a family, and found satisfaction in his work, becoming a man of quiet integrity and deep resilience. But no matter the joys and challenges of his life, the memory of Alice, her luminous smile, her spirited gaze, and the profound connection they had shared, remained a constant guiding presence. He remembered the intoxicating thrill of her presence, the way her laughter could light up a room, the sheer force of their physical and emotional bond. It was a passion that had defined his understanding of love, a benchmark against which all other affections were measured. The memory of her touch, the way her body had fit against his, the unspoken language of their intimacy. These sensations, though distant, still held a potent power, a ghost of a desire that had once consumed him entirely. He often wondered if she ever thought of him, if the intensity of their connection had left as deep an imprint on her soul as it had on his. 50 years unfolded, a tapestry of separate lives, each rich with its own experiences, joys, and sorrows. They navigated the complexities of adulthood, the responsibilities of family, the inevitable losses that come with time. Alice learned to find contentment in her routines, to appreciate the quiet beauty of her world, but a part of her always wondered about the road not taken, the life that might have been with Harry. Harry, in turn, built a formidable life, but a quiet corner of his heart always held the image of Alice, a reminder of the purest, most intense love he had ever known. The world had changed dramatically around them, but the core of their youthful passion, the undeniable spark that had ignited between them, remained stubbornly alive, preserved in the amber of memory. As the decades turned, bringing them into their late 60s and early 70s, both Alice and Harry found themselves in new phases of life. Alice, now a widow, embraced a newfound independence, her children grown, her days her own. She found solace in her garden, in long walks through the autumn leaves, and in the quiet contemplation of her life's journey. There was a gentle peace, but sometimes a profound loneliness would settle upon her, a yearning for a connection that went beyond companionship, a desire for the kind of consuming passion she had only ever known with Harry. Harry, too, had faced his own share of life's transitions. He had retired, his children now grown and scattered, and found himself with more time for reflection. The bustling city, once a source of endless energy, now sometimes felt vast and impersonal. He often thought of his youth, of the small New England town, and inevitably, his thoughts would drift to Alice. The memory of her, vibrant and alive, became more vivid, more insistent. He found himself wondering, with a growing sense of urgency, what had become of her, if she was happy, if she ever remembered him. The intensity of his longing for her, a desire that had been dormant for so long, began to stir, a powerful current beneath the surface of his calm exterior. The world had become a different place, a landscape of digital connections and instant information. Harry, driven by a sudden, undeniable impulse, began to search. He scoured old yearbooks, online archives, social media platforms, driven by a persistent feeling that their story was unfinished. He wasn't looking for a casual acquaintance. He was searching for a piece of his soul, a love that had defied time and distance, a passion that had never truly died within him. The thought of finding her, of seeing her face, of hearing her voice again, sent a jolt of exhilarating fear and hope through him. One quiet afternoon, as Alice sat by her window, watching the first snowflakes drift down onto her Ohio garden, a notification chimed on her old desktop computer. It was a message from a social media platform she rarely used, a name she hadn't seen in half a century. Her heart, which had learned to beat with a quiet rhythm of solitude, suddenly pounded with a fierce, almost youthful urgency. The name on the screen, a ghost from a past she had thought was forever lost, was Harry Kincaid. The love that had survived a lifetime apart, a passion so intense it had defied all odds, was about to find its way home. The memory of his touch, the scent of his skin, the way his gaze could ignite a fire deep within her, these sensations, though distant, still held a potent power, a ghost of a passion that had once defined her very being. The quiet hum of Alice Beaumont's life in her New England home had been irrevocably shattered by the single, unassuming notification. The name on the screen, Harry Kincaid, was a ghost from a past she had meticulously, if reluctantly, archived in the deepest corners of her heart. Her initial shock gave way to a torrent of emotions: disbelief, a profound sense of wonder, and an exhilarating, almost terrifying rush of recognition. He hadn't forgotten her. The words echoed in her mind, a powerful mantra that dismantled 50 years of quiet resignation. Her response was hesitant at first, a delicate dance of words across the digital divide. She spoke of her life, of the paths she had taken, of the memories of that summer of '73 that had never truly faded. Harry's replies were immediate, eager, filled with a warmth that felt achingly familiar, yet thrillingly new. Their exchanges became a lifeline, a bridge spanning decades of silence. They wrote of their lives, their triumphs and heartbreaks, the wisdom gained, and the quiet lessons learned. Each message was a piece of a puzzle, slowly reconstructing the narrative of two lives lived apart, yet always, in some unspoken way, connected. As their digital correspondence deepened, the nostalgia for their youth intertwined with the complex reality of their present. Alice found herself smiling more, a genuine, radiant smile that reached her eyes. She spoke of her gardening, her volunteer work, her children and grandchildren, and the subtle beauty she found in her everyday existence. Harry, in turn, shared stories of his career, his own journey through loss, and the quiet longing he had carried for a connection that felt truly complete. He confessed that no other love had ever quite measured up to the intensity of what they had shared, a sentiment that resonated deep within Alice's soul, a confirmation of her own unspoken truth. The reawakening of their connection was not merely intellectual, it was profoundly visceral. With each email, each shared memory, Alice felt a familiar warmth spread through her, a tingling sensation that began in her chest and radiated outwards. She remembered the intoxicating thrill of his presence, the way his hand felt in hers, the magnetic pull that had always existed between them, the thought of his kind eyes, his infectious laugh, the very scent of his skin began to resurface with an astonishing clarity, stirring a deep, almost primal yearning within her. It was a rediscovery of a physical and emotional language she had thought was lost forever, a powerful current of desire that, though unspoken, was undeniably present, a ghost of a passion that had once defined her very being. Their conversation soon moved beyond text. The first video call was a moment suspended in time, laden with the weight of 50 years and the promise of a future. Alice, her heart pounding with a mixture of nerves and exhilarating anticipation, saw him for the first time in decades. Time had etched new lines on his face, silvered his hair, but the essence of Harry, the warmth in his eyes, the gentle curve of his smile, the underlying strength, was unmistakably the same. And he, in turn, saw in Alice not just the passage of years, but the enduring beauty of her spirit, the wisdom in her gaze, and the vibrant spark that had first captivated him. The initial awkwardness quickly dissolved into a comfortable ease, a testament to the profound connection that had always existed between them. They spoke for hours, sharing laughter and tears, catching up on a lifetime of experiences. It was as if no time had passed, yet every moment was imbued with the richness of their individual journeys. Alice found herself drawn to the depth of his voice, the way his eyes crinkled when he smiled, the quiet strength that radiated from him. She felt seen, truly seen, in a way she hadn't been in years, and the intensity of this recognition was both comforting and exhilarating. Harry, from his home in a bustling city, felt the same powerful pull. He had searched for Alice for so long, and now, seeing her face, hearing her voice, confirmed what his heart had always known. She was the one. Her vibrant spirit, her keen intellect, and the enduring warmth of her presence filled a void he hadn't realized was so profound. He found himself captivated by her laughter, by the way her eyes sparkled when she spoke of her passions, by the comfortable silence they could share without needing to fill it with words. He recognized in her a kindred spirit, a soul that understood the complexities of life's journey, and a woman whose memory had never truly faded. The conversations grew longer, more frequent, delving into deeper themes: the nature of love, the meaning of second chances, the courage it takes to open one's heart again after loss. They spoke of the fear of vulnerability, the hesitation that comes with age, the quiet belief that perhaps their time for intense, passionate love had passed. But as they spoke, their eyes would meet through the screen, and in those shared glances, an unspoken truth would emerge, the possibility of a love that was not a faded echo of the past, but a vibrant, new melody, richer and more profound for the lives they had already lived. The intensity of their connection was breathtaking, a physical and emotional bond that transcended their different worlds. It was a love that consumed, a fire that burned with an almost desperate urgency, fueled by the knowledge that their time together was borrowed, fragile. The sheer force of their attraction was undeniable, a powerful current that pulled them into an intoxicating dance of desire and profound affection. The physical longing became almost unbearable, the desire to feel his touch, to be held in his arms, to rediscover the intoxicating intimacy they had once shared, grew with each passing day. It was a yearning that transcended mere physical attraction. It was a deep, soul-level craving for the completeness they had found in each other so many years ago. Alice felt a fire rekindling within her, a powerful, almost youthful desire that made her heart race with an exhilarating fervor. The thought of his lips on hers, the warmth of his embrace, the sheer joy of being utterly, completely present with him again, consumed her thoughts. The memory of his touch, the scent of his skin, the way his gaze could ignite a fire deep within her. These sensations, though distant, still held a potent power, a ghost of a passion that had once defined her very being. Finally, after weeks of intense reconnection, Harry made a proposition, his voice filled with a hopeful tenderness. "Alice, I need to see you. I need to know if what I feel, what I believe we still have, is real. Would you allow me to come to you?" Alice's heart pounded with a fierce, joyful intensity. The question, simple yet momentous, hung in the air, laden with the weight of decades and the promise of a future. The answer was an undeniable, resounding yes. The quiet rhythm of her solitude had been replaced by a vibrant new melody, a song of second chances, of a love that had found its way back to her, even in her golden years. The intensity of this burgeoning connection, this overwhelming passion, made her feel utterly, gloriously alive, proving that sometimes the most beautiful stories are those that begin when you least expect them, when love knocks again, softly at first, then with an undeniable, heart-accelerating force. The air in Alice Beaumont's New England town seemed to hum with an almost palpable anticipation as the day of Harry's arrival drew near. For Alice, each passing hour was a delicate balance of nervous excitement and a profound, exhilarating hope. Her home, usually a haven of quiet routines, now buzzed with a renewed energy. She meticulously prepared, not just her house, but her heart, for the man who had once been her world and was now, against all odds, returning to it. The thought of seeing him, truly seeing him after 5 decades, sent shivers of anticipation through her, a potent mix of youthful giddiness and the deep wisdom of a life fully lived. The moment of his arrival at her doorstep was a blur of emotion. As she opened the door, time seemed to dissolve. He was there, Harry, with the same kind eyes, the same gentle smile, though now framed by silver hair and the distinguished lines of age. Their eyes met, and in that instant, all the years, all the distance, all the unspoken questions simply vanished. A powerful current, as strong and undeniable as the youthful passion that had first drawn them together, surged between them. Their embrace was tentative at first, then firm, a silent testament to a connection that had never truly broken. The scent of him, the warmth of his body against hers, the steady beat of his heart, it was all achingly familiar, yet gloriously new. In that embrace, Alice felt a profound sense of coming home, a completion she hadn't realized she was missing. The physical longing that had built during their virtual reconnection now found its release, a tender, overwhelming confirmation that the spark, far from being extinguished, had only intensified with time, burning with a fierce, almost desperate urgency. Their first days together were a rediscovery, a delicate dance of shared memories and new experiences. They revisited their old haunts, the quiet path by the river where they had shared their first kiss, the old oak tree that had witnessed their tearful farewell. now standing as a silent sentinel to their enduring love. They walked hand in hand through the familiar streets of their hometown, marveling at how much had changed, and how much, in their hearts, had remained exactly the same. Each shared glance, each brush of their hands, spoke volumes of a love that was not just rekindled, but reborn, richer and more profound for the journey they had both undertaken. The intensity of their connection was undeniable, a powerful undercurrent that ran through every moment. It wasn't merely the nostalgia of youth, it was a deep, mature passion, imbued with the wisdom of experience and a profound gratitude for this second chance. Their intimacy was a revelation, a tender exploration of two souls rediscovering the language of touch, of closeness, of shared vulnerability. It was a slow, deliberate unfolding, each touch a whispered promise, each embrace a testament to the enduring power of their bond. Alice found herself marveling at the intensity of her own desire, a fire rekindled by Harry's gentle devotion, a passion that made her heart race with an exhilarating, almost youthful fervor. The physical connection was a beautiful symphony, a harmonious blend of tenderness and an undeniable, potent yearning that felt both familiar and utterly breathtaking. Harry, too, was profoundly moved. Alice's spirit, her warmth, her unwavering presence, filled his life with a light he hadn't known he was missing. He found in her a partner who understood the complexities of his past, who celebrated his present, and who looked towards a shared future with an open heart. Her love was a powerful affirmation, a testament to the enduring capacity of the human heart, to heal, to open, and to love again with an intensity that felt both familiar and utterly breathtaking. He felt a completeness he had only dreamed of, a profound sense of belonging that settled deep within his soul. The raw, visceral pull he had felt for her as a young man had matured into something even deeper, a consuming desire tempered by respect and a lifetime of longing. They spoke openly about the past, about the families who had once stood as insurmountable barriers. The pain of that old disapproval still lingered, a faint scar, but it no longer held the power to define their future. They realized that the world had changed, and so had they. The societal pressures that had once torn them apart seemed distant, almost irrelevant, in the face of the profound love that had survived half a century. Their children, now adults, witnessed the radiant happiness that emanated from Alice and Harry, understanding that this was not a fleeting romance, but a deep, meaningful connection, a testament to the enduring human need for love and companionship, regardless of age. Their support, though sometimes expressed with a touch of amused wonder, was unwavering, a comforting affirmation that this new chapter was not just welcomed, but celebrated. One evening, as they sat on Alice's porch swing, the gentle creak of the wood a soothing rhythm, Harry turned to her, his kind eyes filled with a profound tenderness. He spoke of the years he had spent searching, of the quiet longing for a connection that felt truly complete. He spoke of how Alice had filled that void, not just with companionship, but with a love so intense, so overwhelming, that it had reshaped his world. He reached for her hand, his thumb gently stroking her knuckles, a gesture that conveyed a lifetime of devotion. Alice's heart swelled with an emotion so powerful, it brought tears to her eyes. The intensity of his words, the depth of his gaze, the warmth of his touch. It was an overwhelming affirmation of a love that had truly knocked again, not just gently, but with a force that had swept away all her doubts and fears. She leaned her head on his shoulder, feeling the steady beat of his heart against hers, a rhythm that now felt perfectly aligned with her own. In that moment, as the last rays of sunlight faded from the New England sky, and the first stars began to appear, Alice knew with a certainty that resonated deep within her soul. This was it. This was the second chance she had never dared to dream of, the profound, overwhelming passion that had found its way back to her, even in her golden years. It was a love that was not just a comforting presence, but an exhilarating, heart-accelerating force, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit to love again, fiercely and completely, proving that even after a heart has been broken and rebuilt, it can still beat with an intensity that feels utterly, gloriously new. The intoxicating intimacy they shared was a beautiful rediscovery, a testament to a bond that transcended time, proving that true passion only deepens with the wisdom of years, becoming richer, more profound, and exquisitely fulfilling. They knew, with an unwavering certainty, that their journey had led them back to each other for a reason, and this time, nothing would stand in the way of building the life they had once only dreamed of. The profound certainty that had settled in Alice Beaumont's heart on her porch swing that evening in New England had only deepened with each passing day. Harry Kincaid was not merely a rekindled memory, he was a vibrant, living presence. The missing piece of a puzzle she hadn't realized was incomplete. Their love, once a delicate thread stretched across decades, had now woven itself into a rich, unbreakable tapestry, stronger and more beautiful for the trials of time and distance. The decision to build a life together was not a question of if, but when and how. Harry, with a heart full of renewed purpose, made the move from his bustling city life to Alice's charming New England home, eager to plant new roots in the soil where their second chance had blossomed. Alice's bungalow, once a sanctuary of quiet solitude, now became a home filled with shared laughter, comfortable silences, and the gentle rhythm of two lives harmoniously intertwined. They merged their worlds, blending cherished possessions, routines, and the quiet habits of a lifetime, creating a space that was uniquely theirs, a testament to their enduring bond. Their days unfolded with a joyful simplicity, each moment a testament to the profound happiness they had found. They explored New England together, from the serene beauty of its coastal towns to the vibrant hues of its autumn foliage, finding new adventures in familiar landscapes. Harry, a retired engineer, found renewed inspiration in Alice's passion for local history and community projects, often joining her on excursions to historical societies or helping with local preservation efforts. Alice, in turn, discovered a new appreciation for classic jazz through Harry's thoughtful recommendations, their evenings often spent listening to old records by the fireplace, the warmth of the fire mirroring the warmth in their hearts. The intensity of their passion, far from diminishing with age, had only deepened, evolving into a profound and tender intimacy. It was a love that understood the nuances of a glance, the unspoken language of a touch, the comfort of a shared breath in the quiet hours of the night. Their physical connection was a beautiful symphony, a harmonious blend of tenderness, respect, and an undeniable, potent yearning that felt both familiar and utterly breathtaking. Alice found herself marveling at the vibrant resurgence of her own desire, a fire rekindled by Harry's gentle devotion, a passion that made her heart race with an exhilarating, almost youthful fervor. It was a testament to the enduring power of their bond, proving that true intimacy only deepens with the wisdom of years, becoming richer, more profound, and exquisitely fulfilling. Their families, now fully integrated, celebrated their union with genuine joy. Children and grandchildren visited frequently, filling the bungalow with laughter and the vibrant energy of multiple generations. Alice and Harry, surrounded by their loved ones, often exchanged knowing glances, a silent acknowledgement of the incredible journey that had led them to this moment of profound contentment. Their love story became a quiet inspiration, a living testament to the belief that destiny, though sometimes circuitous, always finds its way. The old familial disapprovals had long faded into the background, replaced by the undeniable evidence of a love that had not only survived, but thrived. As the seasons turned, painting the New England landscape with ever-changing beauty, Alice and Harry found a deep peace in their shared existence. They would often sit on their porch swing, watching the world go by, their hands clasped, their hearts full. Alice would sometimes recall that long-ago summer of '73, the vibrant hues of youth, the promises whispered under starry skies. And then she would look at Harry, his profile etched against the setting sun, and know that the love they had found now was not just a memory reawakened, but a glorious culmination, a love that had matured, deepened, and become infinitely more precious. He hadn't forgotten her. The message, arriving like a whisper from the past, had indeed changed everything. It had not only reconnected two souls, but had also reawakened a profound, overwhelming passion that had defied time and distance. It was a love that proved that even after years of quiet solitude, after believing that the most intense chapters of affection were closed, the heart retains an infinite capacity for renewal, for a passion so strong it feels like a second spring. Alice often thought of the quiet ache she had carried for so long, the unspoken question of whether he had truly forgotten her. Now, that ache was replaced by a vibrant, exhilarating throb, a constant reminder of Harry's unwavering presence, his gentle strength, and the intoxicating intimacy they shared. Their love was a living testament to the power of destiny, a beautiful, poetic affirmation that some connections are simply meant to be, regardless of the detours life may take. In their golden years, Alice and Harry had found not just companionship, but a profound, overwhelming passion, a love that was both a comforting balm and an exhilarating adventure. It was a love that healed old wounds, renewed spirits, and proved unequivocally that it is never too late for a second chance at an intense, heart-accelerating, and utterly glorious love. Their story, etched in the quiet beauty of New England, became a timeless melody, a testament to the enduring power of a message that arrived and changed everything. Forever, the love that survived a lifetime apart had finally found its eternal home, because true love, indeed, never ends.